everyone, my name is Leslie Hernandez, and today I will be talking about my research paper that I wrote over the Veldt by Ray Bradbury. So to start things off, I will give a brief summary about what the story is exactly about. The story is about a family that lives in a futuristic home that does everything for them from feeding to putting them to sleep. The parents, George and Lydia, install a virtual room called the nursery for their children, Wendy and Peter. Throughout the story, they start to realize that this nursery is actually causing more harm than it is good for their children, along with the rest of the technology located in their home. So a few questions to ask yourself while reading the story is, can technology be good or bad? Can people start to depend on technology too much? And can technology create a barrier between families and other relationships? So now I will talk about my ideas and the research that I found while making this paper. As for characters, George and Lydia are the two characters that develop as a result of finding out their family has been influenced too much by technology. They realize that technology has just gotten a hold of their children and that they need to do something about it. On the other hand, their children, Peter and Wendy, as stated by this article, are two-dimensional characters. That means they remain the same throughout the story, and that is because technology has already gotten a hold of them. So they remain the same because there's nothing to change there. The setting of this story takes place in the future. The Veldt was written in the 1950s, and this was the time in which America was going through social economical changes, and there was new technology advancements being made. So I think the setting is very important because it's showing that technology is growing more each day, and that if humans take advantage of this in a way that it affects everyday human life, that it could cause problems later on. Just like in the story, the kids were deeply influenced by the house in the nursery that they forgot that they actually have parents, which were George and Lydia. And then the use of sensory details throughout the Veldt also creates the appearance of realism for the characters and the reader. So an example of imagery that I found in the Veldt is the hot straw smell of the lying grass, the cool green smell of the hidden waterhole, the great rusty smell of animals, the smell of dust like a red paprika in the hot air, and now the sounds, the thump of dust, distant antelope feet on grassy sod, the papery rustling of vultures. So this creates a very vivid image for the reader to understand what exactly George and Lydia are seeing in the Veldt. Another interesting thing that I found is the use of figurative language in the story. There isn't a lot, but there is quite a bit that makes it meaningful. So one simile that I found in the Veldt is, that sun, he could feel it on his neck, still like a paw. I made a connection with this simile to some of the information that I found in an article that stated that the children seem to have a fixation on the African Veldt and its prowling lions. With this information, I came to the conclusion that this simile could possibly be foreshadowing the tragic ending of the family, which is the parents getting eaten by the lions in the nursery. And last but not least, symbolism plays another important part in this story. 3 symbols that I found is the happy life home, which is their house, the nursery itself, and the lions. For this example, I'll talk about the lions. So I'll read this passage from the Veldt. It says, "Open the door," cried George Hadley, trying the knob. "Well, why, they've locked it from the outside. Peter," he beat at the door, "open up." He heard Peter's voice outside, against the door. "Don't let them switch off the nursery and the house," he was saying. So that information, along with some of the information I'll read from this article, is that the Veldt reveals the fears connected to the family life and its appetite for newer technologies that only make new social and family problems in return. So I think the lions represent the power that children now have over their parents after being exposed to so much technology in their house. It's made them forget that they actually have parents, that these are the people that raised them. They've they've reached the point where they're like, we'd rather have technology than our own parents. So that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to keep technology. So with all the with these ideas and the research that I did, I came to my thesis statement, which states, Ray Bradbury portrays the theme of how the influence of technology is negatively impacting human relationships through the use of various literary elements.